What is up YouTube, it's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we are here with another deck profile, this time for Kagero, coming out of Clan Collection. I think it was Volume 3, we are going to be talking about Dauntless Dominate Dragon Reverse. So this deck is actually insane. Such a solid, consistent deck overall. I really enjoy this. I think this actually could be a very high tier deck in general. I think it's a little bit, maybe not slept on, just not explored as of yet. I've seen a couple lists of this topping, but in general, I think this can really go all the way with almost any deck. I think the only thing that it really struggles against is some protect matchups that maybe spam protect markers and gain a couple of those per turn. So overall, very happy with this deck. Very excited to bring this to you guys. It's been a while since I've done like a lot of Kagero content. I think I just did my Lawkeeper profile, so if you want to check that out too, definitely go check that out. I'll link it down below in the description. But without further ado, let's hop right into the deck profile. Alright, and really quickly before we begin, I just wanted to quickly mention that we do have a TCG player affiliate link down in the description below. If you guys are interested in purchasing any of these cards, you can shop that link to help support the channel, absolutely no cost to you. On top of that too, we do have a Twitter now, so if you want to interact with us, check our locals. We post results every single week, new deck profiles, get notified. You can subscribe to us on Twitter there. And speaking of subscribing, if you are enjoying the content, we're almost at 1K. If you are enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, let me know that you enjoy this. But let's hop right into the deck profile now. Starting off with the grade 3s and obviously the boss unit himself, we are going to be talking about Dauntless Dominate Dragon Reverse. So the Reverse is actually, like I said, a pretty busted card overall, and let's go over its skill and I'll explain a little bit more about it. So auto on Vanguard Circle, when your drive check reveals a normal unit, we get the counterblast and put that card onto our rear guard circle as a locked card. If you put a card, this unit gets 10k plus a drive until the end of that battle. So that's absolutely huge. I'll go over the second part and then I'll kind of touch back on that first part. Put auto on Vanguard Circle, the end of battle, this unit attacks. Soul Blast 1, unlock all of your locked cards, retire all of those units. Your opponent performs choose 3 of your rear guards and retire them. If you did not retire 2 or more units, choose a marker on your circle and then remove it for each of those units retired. So if they went really wide, just touching on the second part real quick, if they went really wide, you know, have a bunch of, you know, maybe Ezel spammed a bunch of markers, things like that. If, you know, Prison Reroad or whatever they, you know, whatever it is that really reroad generated a lot of markers. If you pop their rear guards, you're basically getting rid of them. And then I feel like so many decks now actually do spam a lot of markers in general on field. So if that is the case, this is really good to clean that up. It feels really bad when they've, like, you know, sat through 2 grade 3 turns, built up their board nice the way they want it. All of a sudden you just take away a lot of their power source. It feels really good in a force deck, and obviously Excel decks can't go as wide, so that is really good. But the real zinger is that first skill. So obviously, when you reveal a normal unit, you can call it to rearguard circle as locked, and you don't have to call it to an open rearguard circle. So you could have already attacked with your other 2 columns if you want. Call them over, that's fine. So long as, like, you take a lot of damage, I feel like it's not hard to do at all in this deck. You can then sit there, counterblast away, just have your guy go absolutely insane. So if your opponent makes it a 2 to pass, it's really a 1 to pass in a way, because you hit 1 trigger, okay, you put it on there. If you don't hit a trigger, boom, you are then drive checking a normal unit, calling it down as locked. Again, you already got that 10k power, and you're hitting for a 2 crit base because we are putting this on force 2. I want to say like 99% of the time. We're not force marker spamming in this deck, and you always want to keep that pressure on. So this really makes it like almost impossible to guard. Like, your opponent has to way overguard, and that could open you up for your second attack, because we still are running the regular Dauntless Drive Dragon in here, and he will be able to restand and do that all again. And there is actually a way, I will show you a little bit later, to kind of countercharge mid-battle there, and yeah, we'll kind of go over that and I'll show you. So honestly, like, insane. If you get to this card, this is your second grade 3 ride. If you get to this card, like, the game is pretty much closed out, unless they have like 2 PGs in hand. Really, that's like the only way around it. And obviously it's not, you know, it's not uncommon that they will, but at the same time, it's not like a guaranteed, and really it's so hard to play around this. The counterplay is very little, so I love this card. I really enjoy this deck. It's actually kind of crazy. I've just, like, blown games away. Like, there is no there's no ifs, ands, and buts kind of about it. Next up over here too, obviously we do want to be riding this first. This is going to be the original Dauntless Drive Dragon in V Series. So V Series over here, this guy's skill, at the end of the battle that your drive check revealed 2 or more normal units, one of your front row rear guards gets an additional 10k until the end of turn. So kind of like along that same 10k line as the Reverse there, just making, you know, your drive check turn into something at least. Its second skill is the real zinger here. Actually, I guess it's second and third, I guess. Auto on Vanguard Circle, once returned at the end of battle at attack. If your hand has 4 or more cards, discard 3 cards from your hand and stand this unit. The second skill, auto when this unit is rode upon, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets all of this card's auto abilities other than its this ability until the end of turn. So again, you could pretty much ride Reverse, swing once, pay the cost, discard 3, restand it again. And restanding with that kind of potential, and obviously if you hit triggers too, you know, those triggers linger. Your 10k from the reverse's skill doesn't linger, but at the same time too, if you hit like 2 triggers, which is not uncommon at all, if you have a lot of open counterblasts, you're restanding, you know, a 33k base Vanguard. So really insane. Again, still drive checking, still having the potential to get some of those more drive checks off with that counterblast, you know, go again kind of skill. So again, these 2 cards in culmination, very good. Extremely difficult. It's the only downside really is that, again, if they have protect markers or, you know, PGs in hands, it's a little bit tough because they are pretty much going to use that. Don't commit your full self to like a blowout turn then if you know they have PGs. Also, what is it? The fact that you have to get to your second grade 3 turn, again, is a little bit annoying. I feel like the game is kind of slowed down in a way. Luard, Gabriel, things like that, like these super high roll decks are kind of out of the meta. So you have way more of a chance to kind of do that. But moving right along, that is actually all the grade 3s I'm running. I will explain the Blaze Flare kind of situation as I go through the grade 2s. But starting right off, I'm actually still running 4 of Torrid Cannon Dragon. Still a solid card overall. Decent ride target, act on Van or Rearguard Circle once per turn. Counterblast 1, put a normal unit from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards, retire it, and if your hand has 4 or less cards, redraw a card. So basically just a little bit of card draw. This is all about card draw and survivability. I feel like I built my deck this way. Blaze Flare is a little bit more, you know, aggro, balls to the wall, but at the same time, I feel like I want to draw. I want to make sure that I'm making it to my second grade 3 turn. This card definitely helps us do it. Pretty simple overall, not too much to go over with it. We don't really want to be spamming a lot of counterblast because we want to save them for our Vanguard, but you can usually get away with like 1 early counterblast and then at least heal out or countercharge. I'll show you how to do that in the deck a little bit later throughout the game. So you kind of have like 1 counterblast, I'd say, to play with a little bit early. But moving into a card that is not counterblast reliant, this is actually a really good card, Break Breath Dragon. So this came out, I believe, with Dauntless Dragon. So this over here is auto on rearguard circle. At the end of battle attacked, if your opponent's rearguard was retired this turn, cost retire this unit and draw a card. Its second skill, when rode upon, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it. If you did not retire it, draw a card. So again, just more along that line of, I want cards in my hand. I want to survive to that second grade 3 turn where I know I'm going to blow my opponent out and have a really good chance to win the game. And this kind of helps us do it. It doesn't cost anything. Either A, pop something on the field which can enable a counter charge a little bit earlier into our game, or B, just get that draw off. So I really do like this card. Vacates the field afterwards, which is not bad at all. And yeah, not bad. Over here too, again, you kind of have 1 counterblast, like I said, to play with early game, so I'm giving myself a couple options, and this still gives you a card draw. You can replace this for Blaze Flare, I guess, if you really want to, but this is going to be 3 of Berserk Dragon, so I still think Berserk Dragon is pretty solid. Just because of that card draw, its skill auto on Van or Rearguard Circle when placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it, and if this is on Vanguard Circle, draw a card. So if they start to aggro a little bit early, boom, pop them, stop that aggression, and then draw that card, which is really nice. So it's still a really good ride target. We don't run through too many Soul Blasts in this deck. You need at least 1 for your grade 3 turn, which should not be an issue at all, so I don't really see that being an issue. The counterblast, like I said, you got 1 early to play around with, and its second skill, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, this guy gets 3k until the end of battle, so at least threatening a hit on that 13k base, which again, 1 card from your opponent's hand just to guard out, like it's worth it in this deck. I feel like it's so hard to guess the number of the reverse, so just again, 1 card out of hand could really make or break a situation, and I think at least threatening for that 13k hit definitely helps. Over here too is a tech that I'm not seeing really in a lot of other deck lists, I guess, in general, but something I still find that is pretty good early on. Some of your Dauntless turns early on are a little bit lame, but you know, your first one, it could be a pretty much dud, but this really helps you juice it up. And again, this is just 1 counterblast. This is going to be Burn Rise Dragon. So typically we are going to stand up with Dauntless Dragon, Dauntless Drive Dragon, the original one. On our first grade 3 turn, you have the hand size to typically do that and not really worry about it. But this guy's skill over here, auto on Rearguard Circle, when our Vanguard is restood by a card's ability, counterblast 1, discard a card from my hand, it gets 15k and a crit until the end of turn. If you're in the right position, this card actually is a huge like turn and change of like pace, I guess. It actually provides pressure. Like if you drove check twice to, you know, null triggers, give this guy 10k, give this guy 10k, boom, it's already a 30k, boom, you just put another 15k on there plus a crit, 45k to crit. It could be pretty big and really just make it so that your opponent can't guard any of the next Dauntless Drive Dragon kind of swings. So this is definitely, you have to play this at the right time. I feel like when it is good, it's like really good though, and I personally like it. Again, you can kind of tech in some of those Blaze Flare Dragons, the grade 3, I'll kind of flash that on screen, I guess now. Basically Soul Blasts gets a little bit extra power if nothing's on your opponent's field, but I think, again, the card draw and just some of this crit pressure that we're exuding with that card is just worth a little bit more, in my opinion. All right, moving right into the grade 1s now. Really solid grade 1 lineup overall. Lava Flow Dragon, just trying to make the the line's consistent here. Just make sure that we get our right grade 3 that we need at any time. Really simple, plug and place on Van or Rear. You just look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add a grade 3 to hand, and if you added a card, you discard a card from hand. Its continuous skill on Van or Rear also is during your turn. If you have more rear guards than your opponent, this guy gets 5k, becoming a 13k base. So again, really good booster overall. Sometimes, you do want to swing in a little bit early with stacked columns to kind of get those cards out of your opponent's hand to get the Dauntless Drive Dragon to be even more unguardable. So I definitely like that, keeping that at a 4 of there. Next up here too, this is a really crucial card. This is going to be 4 of Airmo. So Airmo is good for a couple different reasons. So early game, what was it? The Break Ride Dragon, the grade 2 guy, compare with this guy. Obviously anything that retires, compare, countercharge, retire, just get more cards in your hand, which is nice, do a little bit of a cycle. But the countercharge is big on the Dauntless Drive turn, so the reverse. So let me show you what this does. First, continues on rearguard circle. In the battle that it boosted, this guy gets 3k, then it's auto skill. When your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, we retire this unit, draw a card, and countercharge 1. So the countercharge is big because essentially what you do is you lock your entire field with the reverse. So let's say we're on reverse. Over here we just swung. Boom, we activate a skill, Soul Blast 1 out. We would basically have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards locked, leave an Airmo open, and then once something's retired, boom, you can just pop this off. You get an extra counterblast. So at least, when this restands, you didn't burn all of your counterblast then, or you could have burned all of it, but you just countercharge with one of them. So when it swings again, it makes it that 2 to pass at least like a 3 to pass kind of, or a 1 to pass. Makes a 2 to pass, a 3 to pass away because, I drive check 1 trigger, put it on. Drive checking normal unit, counterblast 1, boom, put it on. So either way, like a 2 to pass is always guaranteed to hit in a way. So I think I'm saying that right. I could be a little mixed up. It's a little weird to explain it, but when you play in game, you definitely know what I am talking about. This card is definitely necessary to make that later turn kind of work. And yeah, it's just so essential for the deck. So definitely need that at a 4 of. Awesome oldie but goldie. It's really cool how some like the older cards have just kind of lingered and like remained useful throughout the B series. Over here too, last up, we have 4 of them. So I know this deck is not too expensive up to this point. I don't think anything is like crazy expensive that I just went over, but Dragonic shot actually did go up quite a bit in price. So this skill, auto on rearguard circle, when in place, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, draw a card, choose one of your opponent's back row rear guards and retire it. So again, retiring is always good. But its first skill, our second skill is what we really want. When wrote upon, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 or greater card from among them and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So just again, the consistency. We have to pretty much ride the Dauntless regular one first and then into reverse. If we don't, it's not really great. So this just search consistency helps a whole lot. And then lastly over here, I'm just going to get into the starter and then let's pan out and get into the triggers. All right, it's getting right into the triggers here. So kind of have a balance a little bit of draw and crit in this deck. So I'm running actually 7 crit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Whoops. Kind of screwed up some of the ratios here, but I like to kind of include weird ratios of crits to really throw my opponent off if they think I'm going like all crit, if they see 3 different variations of it, so it could be important. But I'm running 4 of the Heal Guardians. We need to make it a little bit later into the game, and as such, we can't take too much damage early. These are definitely the better choice, I think, as opposed to some of the 20k shields, because later in the game, we do want to control and kind of take more damage so that we're at 5, so we can have like a blowout reverse turn. And then over here, 4 Sentinels, 4 draw PGs, and 1 regular draw. So I think that 1 extra draw just helps, once you see it early game, like it really does get your hand a little bit more full. You have chances to hit your key pieces, chances to draw a little bit more, and things kind of combo off in this deck. So I like that 1 extra draw, kind of cheeky. You can just make this 8 crit if you want, no big deal at all. Nothing too crazy here, but I definitely do like this lineup. So let's get into a test hand. I'll show you guys how the deck kind of plays out. And again, if you are enjoying the video, I ask that you leave that like on the video, maybe subscribe to the channel, but let's get right into it. All right, let's shuffle up over here and get started. Overall, like I said, I think this is actually like very much so like a tier, I would say this is a tier 1.5 deck, if not tier 1. Against some matchups, it feels like a tier 1. Other matchups, like I said, just any spammy protect matchup, like witches or whatever, where they have so many protect markers in their hand, they're not really worried about it, then it kind of feels bad. But at the same time too, if your opponent risks something and makes it, like a foolish 2 to pass or something like that, like you're pretty much guaranteed to hit it. Like it's so crazy. You basically are forcing your opponent to overguard like insane amounts in this deck. So I really like it. I think this is an awesome deck. I like the way I built it. I personally like the card draw grade 2 lineup a little bit more than the Blaze Flare. The Blaze Flare is strong, but at the same time too, I feel like a lot of our stuff already does the retire feature. And I just value that card draw just a little bit more. It's not incorrect to include that though, so if you're doing that in your build, totally don't worry about it. I would say that's definitely a valid choice as well. So let's draw 5 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. that back. Got the nice little Balrog sleeves over there for all my Lord of the Rings fans. All right, so we actually got a solid lineup over here. Wow. I couldn't. You saw me shuffle that right there. I'm not rigging this. I can't ask for better. Let's keep this hand. So we are going to not shuffle, I guess. We're going to start. So I am first off going to draw for turn. We are going to ride into this. I'm going to draw off of the ride. Nice. We got another reverse there. And let's go send it over to our opponent. Let's take a damage. Boom. Power. Let's say that shuts off the rest of their turn. Stand and draw now. So we are then going to go on to this boy. We're also going to activate the skill of He Shot. We are going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we are going to add a grade 3 to our hands. There we are. Let's keep that heal in the deck. We already have a heal guardian here, so it won't be too bad. Alright. And then we're going to Counterblast, Soul Blast one. We are going to draw one. Again, I do have that Airmo in my hand. I could have placed the Airmo actually a little bit earlier, but I'm going to say I didn't actually pop anything, so I didn't need to have him on field to countercharge. If they did call something down, that's when you would, I don't know, it's hard to guess, but it's not bad to have this down early, just in case this does pop something off. You can countercharge immediately and refund that, but we are going to draw a card off of his skill. Nice, we have another Airmo, so I'm just going to, what am I going to do here? Anything else? Do I want to push? I could push if I wanted to, but I don't want to give him too much, so let's go and swing it into our opponent. Boom. Okay, pass it over to our opponent. Let's take 1 damage, power. Let's see, does that shut anything else off? Do we want to take more damage? Not really, because I want to make it past their grade 3 turn, so let's just guard one more thing out. That's fine, and we're going to stand and draw over here. We are now going to ride the regular Dauntless Drive Dragon. Oh no, I forgot my markers over here. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to proxy the force marker and say it is this right here. So let's go here. Okay. We are then going to, we don't really have too much to aggress with at this point, but I am going to pop this down and we are going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to look for that grade 3 off the top. Let's add this grade 3 to our hand. And I'll probably just discard it because I already have 2 in my hand, so I'm pretty safe in that regard. Just deck thinning a little bit. Deck thinning is deck winning, as we all know. There we go. Okay, I'm going to discard that. Now let's go and, yeah, because I have 2 other, yeah, we're fine with that. I guess I want to actually call this down just to make it a little bit more. Yeah, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm good. All right, let's go here. Swing. This is going to be first check. You know, power heal, let's say, if they guarded this out. Second check. Boom. Okay. And then I'm going to actually I'll give the power here probably, but I'm going to discard 3 cards from my hand. So I'm going to discard 1. Don't really need 2. And then let's get 1 more here. What do I want to discard? Let's say I discard. Kind of don't want to do that one. I'm going to do this guy, I think. Yeah. Discard 1, 2, 3. Let's restand this boy. Let's swing in. So we're going to go 23k. First check, you know, it depends what they're guarding with, but obviously it's 1 check, 2 check. Ooh, double crit, sacked him right there. Game over. But yeah, that is pretty much the gist of it. And then we're going to go 13k plus 11k because this guy gets 3k over here. That is 24k. Pass it over to my opponent. Now let's just go bonkers. Let's take a lot of damage here. 1, 2, power draw. Okay, hit me with another thing. All right, cool. So let's say I got 4 there overall. And again, I did heal out. You have so many drive checks early too with the Dauntless, so you're not afraid of like popping 1 counterblast, because chances are 4 drive checks, 5 drive checks, 6 drive checks, whatever the other reverse is going to do, you'll probably get rid of that damage that you counterblasted early, as you just saw over here. So I think that about does it. You know, I'm not going to say I got 5 damage out of that. That's fine. Stand and draw. You know, they could get rid of this, but it's not really the point of the deck. I just want to show you guys. So let's go over here. Let's put another force marker on the, whoops, let me get one of these loose cards over here. Gonna put that on this guy, I guess. There we are. Okay, let me just move this over. Sorry, my little setup is annoying. We're gonna go here. There we are. I'm just gonna move my drop zone here. So let's call him down, and I don't really want to counterblast Soul Blast for this. It's not really necessary, but I'm gonna call this. And I think that's about it. I think this is it. This is probably gonna be, you know, you can declare final turn if you want to get DQ'd, but probably will be final turn. I'm just gonna swing ahead with these guys. So this is 13, let's say 13 plus 11. That is also 24. This is also 13 plus 11. This is gonna be 24. I like to swing with my rear guards first, just to put on that pressure, get stuff out of their hand, like I said. But let's proceed with dominate Dauntless Dragon over here. So we're going to swing, drive check, counterblast 1. I'm gonna lock this. Counterblasting that. There we are. I'm gonna call this locked over here. Second check. Boom. Okay, same deal. again, if they made it a 2 to pass, it just passed. So off of normal units. Put this again. Let's lock this here. And Airmo is going to go off and kind of pop some stuff. We are then going to swing. Let's go power. Let's say we do heal out something. That's fine. Let's say we healed this guy. Okay. And then, so that was one. That was just one trigger, right? Yeah, so I keep going. Boom. Counterblast. Let's do it again. Okay, and since I have 2 Airmos on the field, I actually don't want to use one more of my counterblast over here. I want to save it for my next drive check. So what I'm going to do, end of battle, first off, I'm going to discard 3 cards from my hand because, again, we inherit the other skill. I'm going to discard 1, 2. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's discard 3 because I just don't want them to know how many crits I have in hand, I guess. And then we are going to unlock these guys. Or we're going to stand this guy up over here. We are then going to unlock these 3 Soul Blasts, retire them. Boom. Okay. 1, 2, 3. They have to pop a bunch of stuff. Once they pop stuff on their rear guards, these guys are going to pop. I'm going to countercharge 2, draw 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2 over here. There we are. And I'm going to draw 2 cards off of those Airmos, 1 and 2. All right, cool. So I'm in a decent spot. And now I already have 2 triggers on here, which is actually, no, I don't actually. I have 1 trigger. So this is a 23k base, and I'm going to swing. But I have another 3 open here to kind of go through this like insane thing again. So again, 23k base, swing, all effects, swing, all effects. Oh, I didn't actually get to go crazy with the drive checks here. But again, if they made that a 2 to pass, I pretty much just hit it. They have to way overguard that. So, and we're not in a huge situation either. We're still at 3 damage. I have some good shield in my hand. I think I can live through probably another turn. So overall, I think this deck is actually like insane, as you just saw. Pretty solid overall. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I think this deck is absolutely awesome. So much fun to play. I hope you guys enjoy it too. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is Alex from Team Generations signing out.